for me, always the best way to learn is through listening to other people. I think that when it comes to developing one's ability, you have to understand the way you learn, right? And there's various types of learning styles. There's auditory through hearing, there's visual through reading, and there's kinesthetic by doing, right? So if we have these three learning styles, when one is developing their own way of thinking, I think it's important to understand the way that you learn best. And I learn best from listening to others and then trying it on myself, right? So, for example, I remember someone telling me that they start every day with half an hour at their desk, scheduled in their calendar every morning, to think about the day ahead. What have they got to do? What do they want to achieve? What are the bigger picture elements that they need to consider as they go into that day? And I thought that that was a great idea about having that reflection and thinking time on what's to happen, and then getting to the other end of the day, and as you're travelling home by car or however you travel, if you're working from the office, or if at the end of the day, you're turning off your computer and you're reflecting on it, if you're at the home office, did the day go, did I achieve what I wanted to do? Did it go the way I thought and hoped it would? So for me, how I've developed my thinking, my ability to think, has been largely listening to tips and tricks from others. I like listening to TED Talks, and I think that often there are people who talk a lot but have very little to say. So I tend to find the ones that have got the highest number of votes or listens, or that people have told me have really affected them. And I do find listening to those, they help me reflect on my own thinking and my own approach. So that would be the second thing. So one is observing people and taking that in, the parts of it that I think I can use. The second is I really like listening to TED Talks, because that's often around mental headspace and outlook. And the other thing that helps me reflect on my thinking is having teenage children, because they see the world very differently to us, right? And so every day at home, I have a tradition with my kids at dinner time. Everybody has to go around the table and answer 2 questions. What was the best thing about your day, and what did you learn today? And what that does is it gives you insight as to what's important to them or what resonates with them. So, for example, when the kids tell me, what did I learn today, and the things that stick in their mind is something historic that they learned, or an approach in math that they didn't know about, or a new project that they're going to be working on. I learn from them hearing about that, because often the stuff that they studied was things that they're studying is stuff that I was doing 30 odd years ago, right? 40 odd years ago. So that gets me thinking. And the question around what was the best thing in your day is that thinking reminds you to be grateful and to remain positive. And I really believe that in one's outlook in life, if you have that positive, forward-thinking, optimistic, glasses half full attitude, you can deal with and overcome so much.
Wow.
So the third way in which I develop my thinking is through having these conversations with my children.
Wow. Is there any one more thing?
Wow, okay. 3's not enough. How I develop my thinking. I think those are the core things. I mean, I don't read as much as what I should, but obviously when I read stuff, yes, that influences my thinking. I know what the fourth thing would be. What develops my thinking is my exposure to multiple cultures on a daily basis.
Wow.
because one way is not the only way, right?
Mm.
And when you deal with work with, socialize with people from different cultures, you definitely have your thought process stretched, challenged, etc.
Absolutely. Wow. I noted down here 4 things, Victoria. So observing others, listening to TED Talk is what you do, right? And then asking questions to your children on a daily basis. What's the best
Yeah.
thing for today? And then what did they learn today, right? And then exposure to different culture every day is a way that help you to expand your ability to think. So when we write the book, we try to put the acronym thinking until the 8 different blocks. Right, the T is representing for time, like you say earlier. Somebody will block the time, so they have the scheduled time for thinking. The H represent for the head and the heart, and then all the way down, and then the 4 things that you listed in here is really falling into all of those categories. And thanks for sharing that, Victoria. All right.
Indeed. Are you recording this?
Yes, I'm recording. I
Oh,
will
yeah.
keep only
Okay,
the
good.
part. Yeah.
No, that's good. No, that's good because
Yeah.
I think there's obviously lots of bits and pieces in there. So okay,
Yeah.
good.
The last question before we say goodbye for today for this time, Victoria, is I want to understand how you think about the thinking and the doings, because there's a lot of people believe the doing is more important than the thinking, and I myself believe that the thinking is leading the way for the doing. So I want to hear from you, which one of the two is more important, and that's it.
And are you applying this specifically to work or more holistically, like work
More
and home?
holistically, anything.
Holistically,
Yeah.
okay. So I don't think that you can act if you haven't really considered what the bigger picture is. And the bigger picture at work is the overarching company strategy. Who do we want to be? And then the action is how are we going to get there?
Yeah.
What problem are we solving? How are we going to provide a solution? The same in life. I want to live in a beautiful house that's in that part of the world. Okay, what are the things that you need to do in order to get there? I don't think that you can really feel a sense of achievement if you haven't identified what those goals are and the strategy to get there before you start enacting upon them. The satisfaction comes with achieving the steps along the way. But the steps along the way are the stepping stones to the ultimate destination, right? And I think for me, one can't be done without the other. And in my life, I've had moments where I've just kind of floated and gone from one experience to the next and just kind of hoped that it would all work out, and for the most part it did. And my career's a really good example of that. Up until my mid-30s, I didn't really have a strategy or an end goal. I just wanted to keep doing better and climbing the ladder. And then something happened in my mid-30s where I started realizing, but what is it in the role that I really want to do? What is the impact I want to have? What is the essence of why I do what I do, And when I answered those kind of questions, I was able to then work back. And I'll give you an example. When I was at Adecco, I had achieved a lot of great successes. I was very fortunate with the opportunities. And I did country role, I did regional role, I did global role. And I looked at it and I thought, what's the next thing that I want to do? And I had a couple of options. It was either to go and become the global CHRO for a large listed company, or it was change industry and go and do something vastly different, like join a startup world. And the latter really excited me because I knew I wanted 3 things. I wanted to work in the digital tech startup environment. I wanted my co-workers to be a lot younger than me because I like learning from young people. And I wanted to do something that was adding back to society, right, that was doing good for the community. So I went about finding a job that did exactly that. And that's where I am today. So the actions that I then took were about, I went through my LinkedIn profile and identified all the people that I thought could help me find a digital tech startup. I reached out to all the headhunters that specialized in digital tech startup worlds. I put it out there into my network of friends and family that I thought, might be able to help me visualize and achieve that. And here I am. So there were actions that I had to take, but it was the big, audacious goal that was the driving force to me doing the action. So I don't think if you're really going to do something well, I don't think you can do it without having the strategy and the vision.
Wow.
Excuse me.
Victoria, thanks a lot for sharing your thought on that, and also your example on that is very powerful. Thanks a lot. And it's very generous and kind of you to spend your busy schedule, spend your time out and talk to me and share your insights on this. I really appreciate that. All right.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. It's lovely to see your smiling, happy face again. So it's my pleasure.
Yeah. If you travel to Vietnam, you make sure you let me know, and then I'll make sure that I'll be in wherever you travel to. Okay?
Thank you. You are very sweet. Remind me again, are you in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh?
I'm in Ho Chi Minh City.
I will.
Are you all right?
I will for sure let you know. I'm sorry?
Are you all right? I saw you coughing.
Yeah, I am. I'm just getting over a cold. So it's fine. I've just got a bit of a tickle in the throat, but I'm all good. All right. Yeah. Well, it was super nice to see you.
Super nice to see you too.
You know what? I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to take a screenshot and send it to my friend, Miss. Yeah, just sit up a little bit because now I've got something on my screen. Yay!
Beautiful.
Nice, done. I'll send that to Quinn.
Thank you very much, Victoria.
Okay,
enjoy your talk with her tonight, okay?
I will. Take care. Let me know when your book comes out.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.